That's not to say we're playing for second from the beginning, because you want to go and give it the best you can. But realistically, if we can get out of this group, it'll be a superb job.
You just touched on speculation for Joe Aribo. There's been speculation around your own name this week, Stephen. What would you say to those linking you with a move away?
Do I look happy?
Very.
Do I look settled? Don't ask me silly questions then.
Thanks for talking to us.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Alright, let's get it going then. Like I just said to you there before I hit record, I did have a big spiel prepared for the intro of this podcast to talk about how the Premier League's gone in the first kind of 10 games or so. But huge news today, unfortunately, for our man Scotty G. Stevie G has left Rangers and has taken over Aston Villa. So I think we'll start off the podcast by Scotty giving his honest thoughts on it, because we haven't even had a chance to speak about it yet, Scotty. So I'll let you kind of start us off here, and we'll chime in from there.
Mate, I generally don't know where to start on it. Right, there's two ways you can go. Obviously, as we were talking about, yesterday was like the longest day ever. But as you said, Josh, it was only 24 hours. Like in football, it wasn't a long day, but it felt like everyone was moving so fast. It was like, so the Newcastle rumours came in. Gerrard was going to Newcastle and he squashed it straight away. And it was like, I mean, his interviews shot himself in the foot, really, hasn't it? With the interview where he said, "Do I look happy? Do I look settled?" I generally feels like a girlfriend that you've had for ages, and then she like things are going great, right? And you think it's going great. And one morning she just wakes up and goes, "By the way, I'm going." Like, she didn't leave. She's left the house. She's moved to London, and she's actually saying, "Right, it's over." And you're like, I generally didn't think it was happening. Like, even when the bookies went to favourites, even like all the rumours coming out, I didn't believe he would go, just for so many reasons. Obviously, I can see why he's gone, but it's heartbreaking the way he's done it. We'll start on that way. The way he's left, that it makes it so much worse. Right, if he'd gone at the end of the season, won us another title, maybe won us a cup, maybe got us Champions League, and then gone there, like, what a hell of a project, what a job he's done. He can go with the back of the Rangers fans 100%. The way he's gone, it just leaves such a sour taste.
Sorry, Scott, on that, right, I was thinking this today. I was like, the weirdest thing about it seems the timing and how he's done it. But you have to think, in football, that Villa opportunity's come up. They're not going to wait. They can't wait half a season for Gerrard to be available. So like in football, it's just like literally just like decisions like that, isn't it?
A lot of people said that, all the Rangers fans talking about Villa, saying they're a jobber club and they're a weak club. Villa is a massive club, and they're the 5th richest team in the Premier League.
Yeah,
like,
are they?
Mad,
Who owns them?
I honestly don't know who owns it, but it's Christian Perez, the boy from Liverpool's the chief executive.
Yeah, I knew that.
And so he's clearly the 5th richest club. He's going to have money to spend. And as I said to you the other night, Gerrard's mentioned he's not got the funds to. If we got Champions League, he said he needs money to bolster that squad and start competing in Europe.
Just on the point of money, right? I'm not too clued up on it all, but at Rangers, did Gerrard get money to spend? Because my personal opinion about the thing is, he obviously loves it there, right?
Yeah.
But
sorry, Matthew and me have a cold, by the way.
Yeah, but has he been given? Have Rangers got money to spend? Have they spent money since he's been there?
Yeah. Well, what Ryan Kent?
How much did they buy him for?
What, 9 million or something? They ended up spending, which
I think he got Kent off us for about 7-8 million.
He must have money to if he's done this whole got them into Europa League and all that. Like,
it's not huge money. The huge money would come this year. I think it's 40 million if you get into Champions League. That's when the proper money comes, and then you can say, right, if we go further and further, more TV, getting more money. But right now, like, I mean, Rangers last week announced what was it, 23 million loss. Also, that's through COVID, but I mean that's a huge loss. And then then Gerrard go to them and say, look, I need money to buy another striker. What? Like,
do you think something's gone on behind the scenes? Do you think something's been going on? I feel like it's looked like he's obviously maybe never ever find out of that. It just seems so abrupt for someone like him to do that.
I think a couple of things. First of all, I was really shocked. Obviously, we were messaging about it, and I didn't think that. My whole point was Gerrard's character and personality at Liverpool obviously was loyalty to obviously his boyhood club, which I know Rangers aren't, but he definitely went to Rangers in Glasgow because of the similarities between the cities, the clubs, the fans, the people, right? So I thought, you know what, middle of the season, not even middle of the season, 10 games in or whatever we're at, he's not going to go. I really didn't think he would, to the point you've made, the opportunities come up. Sometimes it's hard to turn down, but I don't know. It's just weird timing with Rangers obviously announcing that they've lost money, which every club has because of COVID. But there's a part of me that feels that if there was money there to be spent to continue to improve the squad, to keep challenging, potentially he may have stayed. I think maybe he's been told, like, look, like, we don't have a lot of money to continue to invest. This opportunity has also come up, so we thought, okay, maybe now's the time to go do it. And by the way, if he didn't accept this job, who's to say in the summer would there have been anything there for him? And he's obviously been impressed with what he's been offered at Villa, so go.
And that makes a lot of sense with the Connor Goldson contract situation. He's stalled and stalled and stalled and signed a new deal, and then people said that he said, like, there's a reason why he's not staying. He said either he knows that Gerrard's away, or there's financial issues, he's wanting paid and Rangers aren't going to pay him. I think that's I hope that comes out in a few years' time, and that's the reason Gerrard's like, obviously you can't say now, you won't find out for a long time, but I hope there's something. Well, I hope there isn't, but I hope there is. That's the reason Gerrard's gone, is financial, and he wasn't getting the money that he wanted to improve that. I think
we've talked about it, right? And this maybe leads us into a deeper issue, and I'll keep an eye on the time that we talk about it, because I'm conscious we don't want to talk about Gerrard for the whole time. But there's Rangers are a huge club football wise, 100%, and I would put Rangers in a category of Liverpool, United, Celtic as well. I'd put them in that. Your Real Madrid, your Barcelona's in terms of like globally, historically, like huge clubs, and of course in recent times no. But there's unfortunately just an issue with Scotland right now in the Premier League where it's not, let's put it in a brand way, it's not interesting, it's not very intriguing. It's actually good for people like Gerrard to come and take teams like Rangers over and try and like, can you prove yourself to then get, i.e. a Villa job, which in terms of the step makes sense to go to the Prem. But to a deeper point, I think that the Scottish League needs to be careful. I mean, it already has been left behind. But like,
I agree with you fully, Coach, in that there was a time there when Rodgers at Celtic playing some unbelievable football, and then Gerrard first came at Rangers and was doing what he was doing, and it was an exciting time.
Yeah.
How many times have we talked about why isn't everyone on TV and things like that?
Yeah.
There's a really exciting part where football,
Celtic and Rangers,
Scottish football, the brand was growing.
Yeah.
And now it's in danger of like Gerrard going and then.
Yeah, but I don't understand what you're trying to say. How do you compete against that?
So that's my point, though. I think that the.
Are you basically saying the Scottish Premier League needs to compete against?
No, you
the
can't.
English Premier League?
I think you've been left behind by, when did the Prem start? 92. You're what? God, how long was that? 4 years.
Yeah.
10, 20. You're 30 years behind something that started up with Sky that's 30 years ahead.
You need the product. You need something that's going to bring that product, but make that image exciting again.
No, but the issue is, right, is the debate has been for what the last few days on every social media platform and TalkSport and everything and Sky, is the whole debate has been, well, is Villa a step up for Gerrard? Because you could argue that Rangers are quote unquote a bigger club. Villa are a huge club, they have huge history as well. But you could argue that, like our point is, Rangers will be in the Champions League if they win the league, which they most likely will do every year, if not every couple of years. So you're getting to compete in that. You're not guaranteed that with Aston Villa. But the issue is that the appeal is always going to be to go to the Prem. I don't think Gerrard's a motivated by money guy. Money plays a part in every walk of life. He'll definitely be getting more money at Aston Villa, I would assume. But I just think that the debate was that Rangers are a bigger club, but the Scottish League is in such a position that there's no way it can compete with Steven Gerrard going to Villa. Even if Gerrard went to like Norwich, that's still like. But you know what I mean?
The most upsetting thing about this is the way that Gerrard generally bought into the Rangers mentality. He said that when he first came in, he knew. So I've got to define what a big club is. Villa is a huge club in terms of it's got a large fan base, big stadium. As I say, it's a very rich club. Surely that makes a big club, no? Like what makes a big team? But then what makes Rangers a big team is the expectations it comes with. Like you seen, so last year went unbeaten, invincible season, won the league in absolute canter. We got beaten by Dundee United at the start of the season, and then the club was almost in turmoil.
Yeah.
Like the fans turned them straight away. That's what Gerrard thrived on. He had at Liverpool the expectations. You needed to win every single week. Every day he turned up was you must be at your very best. Whereas, don't worry, I've not been to a Villa game. I don't know what it's like, but I just don't see the same pressures of being a Villa manager.
There's not, obviously Aston Villa fans want to win every single game, but there's definitely not the same pressure from Villa fans as you would get from Rangers fans. It's a different world. It's a different world.
And having the rival across the road in Celtic, the huge games, there's always that pressure. Do you get? Again, that's probably the reason Gerrard's gone though. Is he's seen Villa as a huge project. Can I do what David Moyes is doing? Can I take them to top 6 European football?
Yeah.
Take a squad that is still a pretty good squad, but take that a struggling team, turn them around, and take surely that's huge pressure in itself. But if Gerrard finishes 7th, 8th for Villa, I mean it's still a nice season, but it's not. There's a different
Which
pressure.
he probably will
There's
this
a different
year.
pressure.
11th, 12th.
It's different pressure between trying to win a league with Rangers, get us in Champions League, and beat Celtic than it is trying to get a Villa into 6th and get into the Europa League or Conference League or Champions League.
Definitely.
Even if he does get into Champions League, it's not huge pressure. Like a Villa fan's not wake up in the morning going, "Oh God, we're close to getting Champions League football."
Villa are
I
currently
wouldn't know.
Villa are currently 16th on 10 points.
Yeah, they've had
they're
a
2 points off
shocker of a
Burnley, who are
season,
in the
though.
relegation zone.
I think, but when you look at it, Gerrard's point of view, he's proved he can handle the pressure.
Yeah.
He's taken a club, a really, really struggling team and squad in Rangers, turned them around, won some huge games, won the biggest season in our club's history in our club's history. So he's proved he can do it, handle the pressure. As a manager's, say you're a Liverpool owner, you think, right, I want Gerrard to be a manager in 5-6 years. He's proved he can do it in the pressure. He's done it in a different environment to what he's grown up in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can he go to a club and turn a club around? Can he develop players?
Mm-hmm.
Can he spend money, which is what he wanted at Villa? So I think, in Gerrard's personal point of view, that's a great move.
Yeah.
And he's going to experience pressure and knowing how to win games, and he's also going to experience can I build a squad, build my own squad, put my own style on an Aston Villa team, and take them up Premier League. Surely,
It's a good squad, that Villa squad, by the way.
like,
It's a good squad.
They've just invested money from the Grealish.
Yeah.
They've. I was thinking of it today. This is so weird, but so do you think he's gonna go to Villa and play a 4-3-3?
This is what's so good about Gerrard.
I don't
There's
know.
So many things. If he plays 4-3-3 against Man City, what happens? And
But
the only criticism I've got of Gerrard and the whole time he was at Rangers, if it was we play 4-3-3 and if it wasn't working, he'd take Morales off, put Roof on. If Hadji wasn't playing well, he'd take him off, put Scott right on. He was 4-3-3 loyal, and not a single time did he go, right, this team's playing us differently, I'm going to play 4-8.
Yeah.
do you not think though, right? Do you not think with Rangers, right? And this is no disrespect to Rangers and the league they were playing in, but with that 4-3-3 that he was playing, and especially because he was at Rangers, always on the front foot, always had the ball.
Teams are sat in against you. You're trying to play
the large majority,
Yeah.
like with Motherwell last week, we went 1-0 down. The only reason we beat Motherwell in that 4-3 is because our players were simply better. Like a reward the game of his life. Tavernier turned up, like because our players were better. In the Premier League, every single squad.
The most interesting thing for me with all this happening is I'm gonna love to see tactically what he tries to implement at Villa. I think
see him every week, right?
I think the front three. I'm thinking he's got Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins. Does he keep Watkins happy now, playing him off the left and Ings down the middle? I think what I caught on to the way he rotated his squad at Rangers, I thought was class, and he seemed to keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
Then again, it's easy to do that, by the way, when you're winning. It's 10 times easier to do that when you're winning. But I'm really intrigued to see when he goes to Liverpool, City, Chelsea. How does he play tactically? Because he's not going to be. You maybe say the Celtic game was the only game in the when he was there that the game where you maybe have to think you maybe have to be like, right, okay, the other games you're probably like, right, let's get after them type thing. So I'm really intrigued to see tactically how he does there's maybe 5 or 6 clubs above Villa right now that you're thinking, right, how's he going to approach that?
Which
Can
I
beat him
think
front foot.
in his point of view, in Liverpool's point of view, that's amazing for him. He's going to learn so much more.
He'll develop hugely.
Even cause there's going to be times when he goes to Liverpool and they'll get absolutely pumped 3-4-0, but he'll go, right, that's where I went wrong.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But like, even if he does, that's a huge learning opportunity.
Whereas the Rangers, like he said, you're the team that's always got. It's a different challenge, right? And I said this the other day. He's obviously this season no, because Villa have played a couple of them already, but he's going to get to play Pep twice, Klopp twice, Conte twice, Tuchel twice.
I will go to a place like Old Trafford still.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ollie's at the wheel and all that, but but yeah, right. You're going to these places now where you're being really, really tested, and not just those teams. Which we'll get into in a second once we move off this, but the Prem in general right now with like all Gerrard, Vieira, Lampard coming back to the North, like the Prem's starting to the Prem's rejuvenating itself for like new young managers that like are trying to prove themselves.
That's what's been a really good debate is if Gerrard stays at Rangers, what else is there to do? Like Champions League football's obviously when he gets into Champions League, but then unless we spend the money, we're probably going to get.
I'd like to.
What's his aim? Sorry, what's his aim at Villa?
Well,
what's the goal?
I think
This year they're obviously in the landslide. Don't keep us up.
And what, Europa League next year?
I think so.
Did they get in? They got into it with Dean Smith, no?
No, they're not in the Europa League this year.
I thought they got.
They were pushing for it. Man.
I'll find out why you guys keep talking. I'll find out where they finished, but no.
Like, that's what I mean. That's what his dinner with the other night with that Christian boy is. What is the goal of Villa? He must have said, right, we're going to give you money. If you keep us up, we'll let you spend. We want to see what you can do. And you also, Gerrard's biggest thing at Rangers with his European football is unbelievable. He was good in Europe. Can he spend the money and get the right players? But I mean, that Villa squad's still pretty good. It was the same squad that beat Liverpool.
Yeah,
7-2.
It's an excellent squad. I think it was I think with the Dean Smith thing, it just needed refreshed. They kind of like hit like the peak. They were really good that season. Like watching them expansive, attacking.
It wasn't a shock.
Tactically was superb. There were points on the board all the time. But I think they got to the point where they just needed.
And losing a player, Jack Grealish, what was that doing to the whole team? It takes a while.
It was quite
as well. I forgot about that.
Gerrard could be that width of that club needs.
It was quite harsh on Dean Smith, I thought. But at the end of the day, they finished 11th last year.
But they were up the top.
What did they finish?
They finished on 55 points, and you've got Everton 59, Leeds 59, Arsenal 61. So there were 6 points off of Arsenal in 8th, 7 points off of Spurs in 7th. So they did all right. I mean, his job this season will be like just make sure we don't go down. Then you can have your summer and you can have your team and play them. So, I mean, who knows? It could go tits up, obviously, but who knows? But
I'm looking forward to seeing how he adapts. I personally can't wait to see him at Villa.
Yeah, same. I'm buzzing to see him week in week.
Michael Beale.
Supposed to see him at Ibrox in a week and a half, and it's my third time I'm supposed to see him live, and I'm not going to get.
I hate the whole chat of like, oh, he's only done it so it's a stepping stone to Liverpool, and so he's in the Premier League and blah blah. Mate, Gerrard has to fucking earn to be the Liverpool manager.
Absolutely,
I think he knows that as well. See if he goes into shit at Villa, gets sacked after whatever, then goes to another job. Like, there's no way that Gerrard is guaranteed to be the manager after Klopp, but he needs to earn it. 100% needs to earn it by merit, man.
Needs to earn it.
That's the thing that's upset me the most. Like, what all the Rangers, some of the Rangers fans, like the things that they're tweeting, like people have forgotten what he did for our club. Where's I going with that point? Man, I had a really good point there.
It goes out. He did do a lot. He did do a lot of good things, man. I'll ask you this, Scotty G, to try and finish this bit off.
Yeah, there's so much more to go.
Does he? I know. But I'm just conscious of the time. We've almost spent 20 minutes on it. Does he leave Rangers as a legend? Legends a word that gets tossed up in the air. But like, it's a tough question.
In my personal eyes, mate, he will always be a legend for me.
Yeah.
Like, the memories he's given me in those 3.5 years he's been there, mate, the belief he gave to a club that was so far broken.
Yeah.
We were getting demolished off Celtic, the biggest rival.
You were in a bad spot.
It was a horrible. Like, we were watching a Rangers Celtic game with a genuine.
Done a class job.
What was happening? He gave belief back into the club. He's made our players so much better. He's left the club in an amazing situation. Yeah, timing's not great, but mate, it's football, it's business. It's going to happen. His goal is to get to Liverpool. On you go. I wish him all the best. But yeah, of course it was. He stopped Celtic winning 10 in a row. Got us back into Europe. He's got the club back to where it was,
55.
and he's made it a very, very attractive.
Was it only trophy one?
Yeah, the only trophy won. But I mean,
which has been banded about as well today. But
only one trophy. But I mean,
we
all went. There's a cup final where we
But
actually.
it's context of when you take where and when you take someone over, right?
No,
so
definitely.
Taking a business over, like you could take a business over that's in the shit, and in 10 years' time, you've maybe just got it back to like a high level, and then you sell it or whatever. But it's like, well, you didn't do a shit job. You took them from there back to there. Like
what Matthew was saying about that Villa squad is like it's not that bad a squad. It just needs a little lift. He's left that Rangers squad is a really, really good squad.
He's no ideas.
Ross Wilson,
100%.
the people he brought in. If we get the right manager in, Rangers will be absolutely fine. It's not as if he's left us in a crisis. The club's going to crumble.
Yeah.
If we get the right man in, which I think we will, Rangers will be absolutely fine. Like that's what's most pleasing about it. He's not jumped on left shit when things are going horribly wrong. And for that reason,
it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, from his side of things, how does it Villa, and then from what you guys do with regards to who you get in, and then how do they continue the bounce? Because you've got to expect that the players are a bit down about that. Someone like Gerrard, who's obviously done what he's done, won them the title, they'll, I'm sure, enjoy it. They'll really like and respect him, and now he's gone. And you know, it's not easy for the next manager to come in and pull that off.
And also, he left us in an international break. We've got time. His business.
Little
People
time
get
to
it.
get
By
back.
the way, his first game in the Premier League at home to Brighton, a team that can play football. And like Graham Potter. I mean,
I'm looking forward to it. It's a 3 o'clock game.
But then surely, like as I say, how
it?
exciting is that for him and his team? Right, we need to get ready to go and play a Brighton squad. They're going to come and play us, and we're all going to be on TV. Like that's like
any Villa players going in your fantasy?
Mate, well, I made the bet. Danny
Scotty's put 3 in.
Is Danny Ings fit?
No, he's injured. But come the turn of January, I'll have Ryan Kent playing left wing, I'll have Morelos up top, and I'll have McGregor and goal.
Right, we'll finish off the Stevie G chat. That's fine, and it was good because I could go on about that for the whole time, to be honest. But we'll move on to the Prem chat. So I mean, I'm going to actually open a couple of windows after I ask you guys this question because I'm sweating in here. Just whoever wants to go first, just kind of take it away. Thoughts just so far in general of the Prem season. Who's impressed you? Who's not? Where you think the league's at? Just your general thoughts of the Prem, and we can just kind of go from there to finish the last 20 minutes off. Go ahead.
Palace fucking class. Like, so good to watch, by the way. Like, so much energy. Like, Gallagher, I think, is going to be some player, by the way. How old is he? Gallagher.
I'm not too sure how old Gallagher is.
So good to watch. So good. Box to box. Must be the fittest fucker ever, man.
Runs and runs.
Doesn't ever look tired either. Palace right now, my favourite to watch. West Ham. Right. Just real quick on the Liverpool game, right?
Go ahead.
Watch that. West Ham tactically, I thought were fucking excellent. Like, this is what. This is the fucking scary thing, though. This happened to us last year. A team does it. That's how you play against us. You defend. I've never seen a team so narrow in my life. The back four, like, no word of a lie, like, so narrow. Tactically, they were so good. I was so impressed. Set pieces, obviously, they're absolute machines. We knew that. The way that Fornals and Benrahma defended Robertson and Trent, teams are going to look at that and say that's how we do it. Like, fuck having your right and left back go and press Trent and Robbo, like what we see Man U done with Wan-Bissaka and Shaw and stuff. Keep them narrow as anything and have your wide players who work. I would love to know how much they ran that game because they were just workhorses. If I was to play against Liverpool, I would have my back four so narrow because Manny and Salah play narrow as fuck, and I'd have my right and left wingers and what West Ham done. Keep an eye on Robbo and Trent, and I thought, everything is just so tight on that pitch. I thought they were fucking excellent, man.
I thought West Ham were. You texted and said it, and I agreed with you. Oh, I mean, obviously, I thought I was really impressed with how City were when we played them. Obviously, it's not really, but I think this season West Ham are the team I've been actually most impressed with because of everything you just said, based off of the season. David Moyes, he's doing at West Ham what he did with Everton, but he seems to. I was intrigued to listen to his interview and stuff after, and they asked him, "Have you changed as a manager, or have you progressed and evolved?" And he says, "I don't think I've changed massively, but I've definitely had to think about what I used to do, and I've maybe tweaked it a little bit." And you can see that he's got. He's saying at Everton, a big, strong, physical team back in the day, probably not as tidy football because the pitches weren't the same and the football wasn't different. He's modernised his team. Mate, let's be honest. I'm looking at it, at the start of the season we all said top four, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United, whacked off. Still could be because they're probably the four best squads. But, God, West Ham are up there challenging for that four. They've got to be.
Injuries could play a huge part in that.
Injuries, hugely.
Bonner's gone.
Yeah.
Lucky Declan Rice is ill at the moment, but it's obviously going to miss rest. You get luck in seasons, right, with injuries and stuff. It's one of those where if you can keep everyone fit, 100% you'll be up there. It's so hard to keep everyone fit throughout a whole season, though.
Do you think Moyes was referencing his time at United when he said he was evolving? Like, I didn't see the interview, like how he evolved and changed the manager.
Did they? I can't remember.
Did they ask what? Sorry, what did you say?
When he said that in the interview, he said he'd evolved and adapted as a manager. Do you think he was talking about how he was at United, and he's changed since then, or is it?
I think the time at United definitely scarred him because he then went to Sociedad and did the Sunderland thing and was struggling a bit, and I think it clearly scarred him. Yeah. And probably was like, will I ever get to manage at that level again? There's certain people that suit certain things, and he suits being at West Ham and building and growing them and trying to push them as far as he can. And I'm sure if he heard this, he'd be like, I want to manage a team that would win the title. I'm sure he would do. But I don't know, he just suits it. It just seems to suit him. You know, when you look at people and you're like, that totally makes sense. You're doing the right thing. You've built the team up. The team suits him. The player suits him. The people you've got behind him suit him.
But that's down to David Moyes though. You're saying that like. So this is what I don't really understand is when you say like.
The expectations then of the club.
Is when people say like certain managers suit certain clubs, right?
Klopp suits Liverpool. Klopp suits Dortmund.
Yeah, but do you not think if Klopp went? If
that's easy to say because he's done well there.
No, but I kind of get stuck on this point because do you not think you could say that about any club though? Do you not think if Klopp went to West Ham and then he'd done his whole hoorah?
Does Solskjaer suit Man United?
But like I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean by say. I think are you basing his style and his personality?
Yeah,
on the club.
His style and there you go. His style and personality with the club.
Well,
I just think it's.
West Ham. Could he not do that at Man United right now?
I just think it's if you do well or not.
No, I don't know if you.
I agree with Matthew.
I don't really understand that point. People have been saying that recently. I don't really get it.
No, I think certain clubs have a certain DNA.
Does Conte suit being at Tottenham?
I don't think he does suit being at Tottenham now.
For what reason? In what way?
Because Tottenham's history is open, expansive football. They kind of got back to that with Poch and it brought them back to life a bit.
Okay, but then
because of success, you're going to say.
No, but how successful have Spurs been with that style and that like?
They haven't. They
haven't been that successful. They got to Champions League final and stuff like. Yeah. At some point, but if Conte comes in, totally changes.
But like Conte
defensive, could he then suit Tottenham?
But Conte suits like Chelsea though. Like Chelsea in my mind, and probably for since this point, right? Because this is when they changed. Like Mourinho was the first man that came in. And the way he played was how he played. We all know he plays. So then look at the guys that have come in and done well. Tuchel plays in a little bit of a different way, but it's the same. It's tight, it's compact, it's not exactly like fully free-flowing like open Man City Pep Guardiola football. It's compact, it just suits Chelsea.
I don't know. I just don't really know if I agree with that or not, but I think it's more so where the club is at the time. Also, compared to the manager suiting the club, like I think you bring in a manager to try into a club,
right?
You try and do it with the. Actually, no, I don't even know if it's that. I don't know. But with the point that you're saying there, I'm just not too sure if.
When Liverpool got Klopp, do you think they looked at his personality, his DNA, who he was, the style of football?
Yeah.
Thought this is what I want because he fits our city, he fits our town. Because I personally agree with you in the Klopp thing. He suits that city. He's like the working class city of the people, and then his style of football clearly works with the players. Yeah. But then, for sure, the style of football suits the players he signed. He's signed their Robert.
But
he's got a trend.
The thing is, though, does that mean you can't? The thing is, does that then mean that you can't change your style and identity at a club to be successful? Because
no. For example,
so let's use Watford as an example, right?
Okay.
When you say a manager that suits a club, when you think of a manager, like what manager suits Watford for you?
Well, I don't know because they sack 10 managers a season, so I don't know. So that's not a very good example. But I'm not.
It's a great example because they can't.
I think you're more so because a club, the previous managers or manager was successful with playing a certain way at that club. Right. Therefore, a manager that plays that way has to go there. Yeah. So which I disagree with.
So put it. We're going down this road, right? So the reason Klopp suits Liverpool is because, and also to your guys' point about success is that if people talk about Liverpool and you go back that far and the Liverpool way, it's Shankly, and it's about the people and it's about the players work hard. Then you had Bob Paisley. Klopp is the same in that. Do you know what I mean? Klopp's the same.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's right. That's 100% right. Yeah.
Chelsea was Mourinho, how he played when he came in, and that kind of built, and then that just I don't know.
But the clubs get attached to that. Yeah. Therefore, they're getting in managers that try and do that, and sometimes you just can't do that again. Sometimes you just have to evolve from that and start a new legacy of how a club looks and plays.
Definitely.
So then, Walter Smith was at Rangers, unbelievably successful. We got to see Europa League final playing the most defensive form of so hard to break down, so defensive. And Rangers fans were, that's great. Well, is successful for us. He fitted Rangers, and his personality, his style fitted Rangers. And now you bring it back tonight where Gerrard's just gone. There's a totally different style of football, but he also suited Rangers. But there's a totally different style, totally different person.
Yeah.
But then also fitted it so well. Like they both seem like.
But then he fitted, but his personality fitted Rangers though.
Okay.
So then his style. So if the manager. The team and
you
the
can't get
club,
mixed up in their personality and style.
But your personality as a coach is literally the main point. That's the whole point.
And it gets reflected in your style.
That's the whole point. The team takes on the personality of the manager.
Yeah.
This is my big point, right? This is actually why I stopped coaching, because for me this isn't what it was about, and it's going this way, and you have to evolve. But everyone was so into tactics, and I love tactics, and I love having that debate. But my big thing was more about putting your personality and like understanding the game of like you've got to run and you've got to work hard and all those basic things, right? Like that to me is more crucially important than you being able to come in and to tactically coach and train players to be able to play in a 3-5-2 or a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1. In my opinion, that doesn't really matter. My opinion, what matters is what's the personality of the team on the pitch. So, for example, that's my point, is like Liverpool, Klopp's personality on the pitch, the team has that personality, that suits the city of Liverpool. Gerrard's personality suited the city of Glasgow and Rangers. Tuchel's personality and what he wants to do suits the personality of what Chelsea has been since Abramovich and Mourinho. So, that would be my point. Arteta, Arsenal like to play open, expansive, open football. Arteta wants to do that. That suits Arsenal. That would be my point. That would be my point on that. Obviously, we don't have to agree.
No, I'm
That's the
not.
whole point in having a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one.
But then it's so easy to look at clubs that have been successful and done it and say they suit. But then like did Mourinho not suit Tottenham?
No, Mourinho. I don't. Could Conte win a trophy for Tottenham? Yes, I don't think that squad's good enough to win the league. If he wins the league with that squad, he should retire, because I don't think it's good enough to win the league against the others and against the other managers that are there.
On did any use? I know it wasn't on TV. Why is there no? Why there's like nothing about? I feel like there's nothing about how Conte's first game. Like, he played his 3-5-2?
Well, it was nil.
Is he playing Son off Kane?
No, I think he played two up front. Didn't he?
Yeah, so is he playing Son off Kane?
I text Rob about it before this podcast, asked him, and he said there was little differences. You could see we were a little bit better defensively. He hopes Eric Dyer never plays another game again for Tottenham. But I've not seen anything about it.
But did Conte, correct me if I'm wrong, did Conte not play a 3-4-3 his whole time?
What, everywhere else has been?
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, this is my point about
because
tactics. You could debate whether it's 3-5-2 or 3-4-3.
Alright, no, yeah, okay.
He's always a fan
but
of
I get your point.
Two up top.
Yeah, but did he go...
Well, 3 centre-backs and 2 wing-backs, put it that way.
He loves what?
3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs.
No, I'm more talking further up. I'm more talking about does he play with Son and Kane like this, or does he play in Son, Kane, Lucas? I didn't watch the game, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't really see the highlights, so I can't comment. But I mean, after one game, it's probably going to be a little difficult to tell. But I'm sure he probably... Does he get Kane going?
He should do, because I think Kane suits what he wants to do.
All reports, Kane he said he had a lift, and him and were...
Yeah. Of course they would be. That could rejig Kane's thought process for the next summer coming, depending on how things go with Conte. But I think Kane will suit him. You'll basically be told to stay in the box, mate, and we'll get the ball up to you and like do your job.
So on that thing, the manager fits. Who do you generally think suits United right now? Man United.
Oh, right, great question.
So Solskjaer's clearly not the right man for the job, apparently. But
I mean, I absolutely love the Ollies and Wheelchair.
Who's in that squad? What personalities have you got? What players have you got?
Who's
going to come in and team Ronaldo?
I say Zinedine Zidane.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of big names, big stars that probably shouldn't work together, and everyone goes, "Oh well, so Dad had an amazing team at Real Madrid, so he wins." It's like, yeah, but he's playing again. He's in the Champions League against like the best teams and the best managers. Like you've tactically done something well in those games.
Having that good a team brings its own troubles. Keeping everyone happy.
100%.
Keeping those egos not like.
I'd say Zidane.
Roger.
I think he suits Man United.
I'm going. I think Rodgers.
Our ex-Liverpool manager almost had a statue built for him outside of Anfield.
Right. The question was what manager
I know
suits the club, right?
But that's mad they're even in that spot though.
No, right, but
No, but his style and what,
tactically Rodgers is fucking excellent. Like,
and that's what that team needs.
he's also young as fuck. Like, I think tactically I think he would get Man U playing some fucking excellent football.
And with the quality they've got, if they get a little bit of tactics and a little bit of formation sorted, they could be seriously.
Are you, if you come into that dressing room with Ronaldo,
Pogba.
Bruno, and Pogba and those guys, has Rodgers done enough to immediately demand their respect?
I mean,
Like, Zidane comes in, Ronaldo's already worked under him and won 3, so there's respect there. Pogba's frank respect. Put it this way, everyone's respect.
Take Ronaldo out of the equation, right?
Because he's there.
Right, no, but because Ronaldo's this different. He's next level, right? What, like, it's? Do you not think it's so weird? Surely any manager that comes into that club, right? In general in football, the players should be fucking raring to go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what their name is, because they're doing it for the club. They're not doing it for the manager.
100%.
So, like,
that's
I
an
don't
ideal
understand.
world.
I don't understand that.
But that's
the sad thing. Is kind of where it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like, it's like the players are bigger than the manager and the club.
Yeah, because back in the day,
especially a place like Man United, nobody is bigger than that club.
Back in the day, you weren't getting paid a full-time wage, and it wasn't providing your living, and it was a good thing to do, and you're working in the mines, and then you're getting to go play football on a Saturday, and now it's growing to the point where it's now you're getting paid 500 grand a week, and it's like, well, if I don't show up, I don't show up. I'm getting 500 grand a week, and at the end of the day, when you get comfortable as a person, everyone's going to be like that.
That's what's pissing off the likes of Roy Keane and Neville.
But I'd say that it's even more needed now, unfortunately, because of the fact that how football's got.
I think what Matthew said, they should be buzzing to turn up to training as soon as Rodgers got on that training pitch and said, "This is how we're playing.
Or
this is
Solskjaer.
football we're playing." Surely, if you're a Bruno, you go, "Oh my God, I'm going to get so good under this guy. We're going to play some amazing football. We're going to win games."
But like,
I think it gets blown out of proportion. I don't know if the ego is as big as what we all think.
Sorry,
they are.
can I?
I just can't see like someone like Rodgers coming in and Pogba and that being like, "It's Brendan Rodgers, fuck off."
Neither
like,
can I. I don't think so either.
I think a lot of the time we blow it out of proportion. I do think that Pogba and Ronaldo and these guys I think they are working 100%.
Yeah.
And it's 100%. No, it's 100% the man. It's the 100% the manager's job to get the best out of them.
Yeah.
It's man management.
It's your job.
100%.
To get the best out of them by giving them a proper tactics, this is how our style of play.
100%.
You have no idea what United's style of play is.
We done a podcast about this at one of our first ones. We talked about what we think, like, separates like the best managers in the world. It's 100% the man management side of things.
Of course it is.
And like Klopp getting the best out of Jordan Henderson. Klopp getting the best out of Andy Robertson. Like, it's 100% their job to do that. You need someone to come in that will get the best out of these players at Man U.
But I'm sorry, like,
and there's certain ways you do that, and Solskjaer doesn't do it.
But and this is to my point to be at the highest level, to come back to talk about style. That comes down to your personality. He could be completely different behind the scenes, but from how he conducts his interviews, I just don't see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going through them when they're not.
No, but it's a different way to manage people though. Every time it doesn't need to be a big hug, and it doesn't need to be a big fist pump to the crowd and that. You don't need to be Mr. Chatty, Mr. Buzzy to get the best out of folk. But
you could be quite.
You can be the manager that knows just when to put your arm on someone and or you do little certain things that get the best out of people. You don't need to be like this. You don't need to be the over-exaggerated kind of bubbly, confident.
But there also does call times where you do need to like go through people. But to your point, I read Fergie's book that's down there. One of his things he said that he definitely picked up from his dad was that sometimes saying nothing is worse than going through somebody. Sometimes they know, and you know that they know, so you just don't say anything to them. And for 2 days they're like, when's he going to come to me and have a go at me? And you never do, but for those next 2 days in training, they're like, when's he going to pull me aside? Like, I'm going to work my arse. But they know that you know. So they're like, right, you've worked your arse off now. I'm not going to have a go at you. Carry on this way for the rest of the week.
Just while we're on Solskjaer, right, I just like talk about the whole Man U thing for so long. It's so interesting. But the biggest thing for me is you have a squad, right? I don't understand. I really don't. His rotation of his squad. I really don't understand it. I think Arsenal's the best example right now. I can tell you what Arsenal's back four will be for the next 10 games if there's no injuries.
And Liverpool and City's and Chelsea's.
That's my point. Man U's midfield, you have no.
Chelsea back line up for debate, but
Chilwell's in. Reece James is in.
I get your point. For 4 out of the 5, 4 out of the 5 that might change.
It's just the rotation that I don't understand. And he's on what, year 3? Is it what? No, what's he on? How many years?
But he looks
whatever it is, you should know what your team will be before it's even.
I think for me that is what I'm looking at now, and I'm like, you still don't know. You're still not getting the best out of your midfield too. Who's your best midfield? You don't know.
He's not signed anyone.
I generally think he's been influenced the last couple of weeks by what people have been saying in the media.
Yeah,
Neville went through and said you can't play 6 attackers, whatever it is. You need to play 7. You need to be defending. I think he's been so easily influenced by that.
Gary Neville said on TV that he should play 5 at the back, and the next game he's playing 5. I'm not saying that he's done that because of Gary Neville.
But him and Carragher sat on Monday Night Football and said, "This is what your team should be. You need to be more defensive." He comes out against City and plays that same team.
Yeah.
I think he's been so easily led. Where somebody with a bit more about them, like a
Klopp or something, he doesn't know where to turn.
Yeah,
he doesn't know where to. Look, it's a different level, a completely different level, and I'm not trying to say that I'm fucking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I've been there through coaching in America, even with kids and new teams, but still a team, right? And I had a couple of teams even towards the end where you hit a point and you're just like, I don't know where to turn. I've tried this, I've tried that. I'm now not beat, and then all of a sudden you're doing things that you would never do, and you look back on it in a year's time and you go,
fuck.
why did I do that? Why did I just stick with
that?
that?
Look back at that Liverpool game and go, holy shit.
I am absolutely fucking shocked that Man U still do not have a philosophy in how they play.
That's down to him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, honestly, like, so shocked that they do not have a philosophy in how they play. Like, right, so he obviously knows a 4-2-3-1 best, which he's played the whole time, right? The way that he tries to play a 4-2-3-1, I don't understand. If you look at West Ham, right? West Ham are playing a 4-2-3-1 right now. Fuck what formation you're playing, be a 3-5-2, whatever. The manager goes with. There's a philosophy in how you play that. Look at West Ham, and it's like everyone is in for that 4-2-3-1 formation. Everyone knows their roles, the responsibilities.
But that's how they're being coached.
Exactly. That's what I was about to
say. They know that in that every day.
100%.
And there's trust in the coaching staff because, first of all, you get results. That usually helps. So when you're Man United and it's like stop, start, there's not time to build that confidence from the squad in what you're doing.
He changed his whole philosophy to go and play Man City. He totally changed it within a week.
Can I just also say, and this is quite an interesting topic, and I'm still not quite sure where I'm at with it, and I'm going to use Liverpool and City as an example. But if you look at Liverpool's front three, right, our depth in our front three, people say is not the best, right? It's not. We've got Origi, Minamino, and who am I missing? That's kind of you kind of then got Jota, Firmino that kind of rotate.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like folk are like, you need to go and basically get better depth in like your front three and all this. And part of me is, first of all, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, just spend money. But then I'm like, well, this is where I think Man U go wrong, because they go and have Rashford on the left, and then they go and buy Sancho, and now you need to keep two massive players happy, and it's really, really difficult to do.
Greenwood as well.
Greenwood added. Well, let's go Greenwood and Sancho, because at the moment I noticed, because Sancho plays on the right. He's played on the right for Dortmund. Yeah. Greenwood obviously plays on the on that side. Like, how do you to manage those two players and to keep them happy and let them know they're not going to play every week? It's so fucking difficult.
Then adding a Ronaldo, who Solskjaer didn't want. Like, how much harder does that make your whole job? Then you got him and Cavani up top.
Didn't want, but he's the only one that's actually saving you.
He cannot. Yeah, he's only saving him, but he can't drop. He might not want to play Ronaldo's system. He can't drop him.
So I generally think that, I don't know if Liverpool do that because Klopp generally, that is what his like kind of way of doing things is, or if because we don't have as much money as Man U and City and stuff, so we don't have money to.
Tuchel don't do that.
But then Josh, you've always said that about Origi. You said you need a guy like Origi who's happy to be at the club, and when you need him, him, he can turn up.
But I think
you need to give him the reality of the fact that, look, you're not as good as Salah, Firmino, Jota and Mane, and that's the fact. You can stay here and you can be part of the group, and we're going to use you and we'd love to have you. Or if not, when the right bid comes in, you can go. And then he comes back to you and says, nah, I'm either A, down to prove you wrong, hopefully, or B, cool, I know my role, but I'm still going to work hard and give everything I can for you.
Whereas Solskjaer can't say that to a Sancho coming in.
Because they're too big.
Or, yeah, they're too big.
He's got too many big
That's
names.
what I'm saying. They're going. I don't understand it.
He's got too many big names and they're far too unbalanced, right? When you coach, you've got Ronaldo, who, if I had Cristiano Ronaldo on my team, I wouldn't expect him to press. I also wouldn't expect Bruno Fernandes to press, even though I know that he would probably do it now and again, and I actually think he's dropped off on that aspect because the team's not doing well. I wouldn't expect Jadon Sancho to press, I wouldn't expect Marcus Rashford to press, and I wouldn't expect Mason Greenwood to press. So you've already got half your team who you're going to play shouldn't press, or not shouldn't press, everyone should press and everyone will press, but I'm not expecting them to be my pressers. I'm expecting to play two of those and the rest of the team to help them out with the extra pressure.
Mate, I'm sorry. If you're a top manager, you get them to press.
Yeah.
No, but my point is there's certain players that just like...
That's bullshit what you're saying.
I wouldn't put Manny down as a presser, but then he has to.
But I would put him down as a presser. That's why we've bought him. So you've bought someone that wants to play your style. So like the point...
Rashford can't press. Rashford one of the quickest players in the league. I know,
but like...
Nah, the whole myth of that front five can't press is bullshit. They can press, but it's Solskjaer's job to get the best out of them too. They can press.
Yeah,
if you're a professional footballer at fucking that level, if you can't press, you're fucked.
I agree.
They will press.
I agree.
It's their job to get them to press.
Then it's your manager's job to go away. Why can't you? It's like, well, I don't know how or I don't know when. Well, this is what we do.
I agree, but would you also not agree?
Pressing isn't just running to the... Pressing isn't just all of you stepping up running to the ball. It's so fucking... It's all to do with angles. It's the pace, the timing.
So you're not being coached to do it right.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
It's trigger point. It's trigger point. It's trigger point.
I will not...
It's when someone receives their back to goal, or the ball goes in the air, or the pass is a little bit slow. Like there's moments where you all know...
The next manager that comes into Man U cannot take that team and try sit off them. The next manager that comes in needs to come in and get all that front five pressing and on the front foot because it's Man U.
Yeah.
Which personally, who takes a really good job of that? Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah. Of course he would.
He would coach them. He would coach them to be better.
Which I think is what they need.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting. This is not a Man U get at it. That was a good conversation.
It's not biased. We all know that
it's a football coaching chat. That's what it is. But that was decent. I mean, we've kind of hit that. We're on the 46-minute mark, so I'm not going to force us to finish, but we'll start thinking about wrapping it up. Just in regards to the Prem, let's just kind of finish it this way. Currently, bottom three, you're looking at Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich. What are the thoughts? Who are we thinking is going to go down now after we've played about 11 games?
What was our three in our predictions?
I know.
Did you?
Yeah, you put Palace. I think I said Palace would be down there.
I put Burnley. I said Burnley.
Southampton's still even in the league. I honestly can't remember the last time I've seen them play football.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because Armstrong scored and got me 9 points.
Are we in agreement? Norwich are gone. Norwich are done.
Yeah, Norwich are gone.
Norwich are gone.
No matter.
Norwich have 5. They're on the same points as Newcastle. Norwich, Newcastle gone. Surely.
Great championship squad. No matter what Lampard does with that, they are going.
Eddie Howe coming in there.
If you're the next Norwich manager, what do you do?
It's Lampard. They announced it.
Oh, it's Lampard?
Yeah.
Oh, it's official?
It's Lampard.
No way, really?
They announced it today, yeah.
Wow.
Does he keep him up? Billy G will be playing though.
Gilmore got games now, which is good.
Billy G will be playing. I can see that being the three. Potentially Watford, who are then next in the league, get sucked in. It's then Stevie G's Villa, who are tied on the same point, so he's going to have to pull them out of that. Leeds are struggling,
Magic gets
but
relegated.
I think Leeds have got enough to stay up. I think they've got enough to stay up.
They're playing Harrison at left back.
I think
it's a fully fit squad. They'll be fine.
I think it's between Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, Watford.
I love how everyone's got to get out for Leeds because they play exciting football. Exciting football does not keep you in the Premier League.
Players are good enough to keep. I think their squad's better than Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, Watford.
Yeah, one game where their squad's not good enough. They're playing Harrison at left back because they've got a couple of injuries. Their squad's very weak when it comes.
Why didn't they keep Alioski?
Yeah, it's huge.
They've brought in that Junior Frippo, whatever his name is, Frippo.
From Arsenal.
Don't know what his name is. He had some shocking games where I watched him.
Barcelona, like youth coach said about that Frippo, if there was one player he could have kept and never wanted to see leave, it would be him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I watched him and he was pretty poor. The games I watched the Leeds.
Totally one game back. Watched Watford. Watford showed a lot of class going forward. There are a couple.
After they got pumped 5-0 by Liverpool, but yeah. But I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like, we've had signs of life where like when was the last time Norwich scored 5 goals? Like,
I know
it was
Premier League's back.
It's a weekend.
Time's back. Top.
But even having Ranieri back, like, there's exciting times you watch.
Conte. Right, top of the table, we've got Chelsea, City, West Ham, Liverpool, Arsenal sitting 2 points off Liverpool in 5th. What are we thinking? We said top 4 at the start of the season, which most people said would be Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Arsenal. I can see West Ham breaking into that. If Arsenal are on a good run of form, and Arteta looks like he's turned it around a little bit there, in terms of he's got the players bought in.
Don't just speak over how good has he done?
Yeah.
Like, what a job he's done.
By the way, watching that.
Aubameyang and that are like, what we're just talking about United pressing. Aubameyang's pressing, Lacazette's pressing. They look like they know what to do. They look like they're happy to go. They know when to go.
By the way, when you next watch Arsenal, watch that Gabriel play out from the back.
He's class.
Oh, mate, he's fuck.
By the way, Gabriel, the
zip balls into
back,
midfield and tight spaces and that, and I'm like,
the right back, the
hell.
left back, Tavares.
By the way, does Tierney get back in?
And tomorrow, well, you think he will.
Yeah.
He's back for Scotland this week, so he is made.
But do you think Arteta goes, this other left back that's came in has been really good, and he says to him, look, Jack and Tierney has deserved that to come back in?
I think he's been good enough to say, look, you've got a...
But then it's a great question. How do you? But then Smika started pretty well for Liverpool. Like, Robbo's gonna come back in.
Look what Arteta's done with Aubameyang, pressing like fuck as well from the front.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, I think that'll do us, lads. That's been about 15 minutes. So
where did Villa finish in the Premier League?
Oh,
well, I think they do about the same as last year. I think they finish about 11th, 12th, 13th, around about that spot.
I think Gerrard does really well at Villa. I'm just going to put it out there. This watch and like
2 Liverpool fans.
I'm going to cut this out and put it back.
No.
I'm not taking. I was really surprised and intrigued with watching Rangers and just how they played in that. I was really. I think he does well. I think he does well.
What Michael Beale can do in Premier League, because there's knowledge of tactics and the game's unbelievable. But I think it'll be a great championship next season watching Lampard and Gerrard when Norwich comes out in the
championship. What are we thinking? Liverpool winning the title, Rangers winning the title?
No.
Nah, I'm only joking. Ollie's still at the wheel, so that's all that matters.
Keep him there.
We good?
Yeah.
Alright, that was good. Enjoyed that. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Beans, we'll see you next time.